Hey everyone, Jim here with Ahmad Childress, my new boss, the new IGN Entertainment Editorial Director. Ahmad, welcome to IGN.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, he's the new Chris Carl, for those of you who used to watch Keeping It Real or still, all that jazz. But we're here today to talk about the Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition. We've both watched it now. It's almost 3 hours long.
It's really, really long.
Yeah.
It's as long as promised, and it's very similar so far. What'd you think?
All right, basically, my reaction to it is, because I reviewed the theatrical cut, as a lot of you know, I think this version, the Ultimate Edition, will do nothing to change your mind either way about it. If you really liked BVS, there's more of what you liked. If you didn't like BVS, it's not changing your mind. And it's just happens to be a longer movie, more violent, kind of needlessly so. And I'm not somebody who's hung up about movie violence for the most part, but just didn't think it was necessary. What do you think of it?
Yeah, the violence part, it was just, hey, let's add 15 extra splatters of blood in random places and add a couple of dead bodies.
Yeah.
And call it a day.
Headshots too,
Yeah, 10% more headshots.
Yeah, there was. So that opening Nairobi sequence, we see the guys get headshots. We do meet Jimmy Olsen, though. He actually says his name, and it's the first time him and Lois have met each other.
Yeah, they have a weird interaction where Lois just seems annoyed that there's this new guy there and just shut up and shoot, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird that Jimmy Olsen was using a 35mm single lens reflex camera, not a digital camera. I thought it was a nice touch. I thought it was really weird, but whatever.
Well, he is Superman's pal, or at least was. And then, some of the other things, though, that this edition had was just more padded out moments, extra lines, but also more subplot, more of the Nairobi, again, subplot, and then Lois's investigation into it, and Clark investigating Batman.
Yeah.
So let's kind of talk about at least the first part. To me, the Africa subplot of the movie was always really convoluted. I didn't understand in the theatrical version why Superman was being blamed for a bunch of people getting shot. Now in this one, they show more, but it doesn't.
They still flesh it out, but it's still a really lame plot.
Yeah.
They said, okay, we're gonna shoot all these people. We're gonna blame it on Superman by bringing a flamethrower in, which shows up later in the film, and torching these bodies. But if you did forensics, you'd see that all of these burnt bodies had holes in their heads. So
with special bullets, no less. Remember, because Lois is already investigating that.
Yeah, it's like, how many ways can we tie this back to the single villain? It was, It was silly.
It gets ridiculous in that it's almost like Lex Luthor kind of becomes like Jigsaw, where apparently he can see like 20 moves ahead and just plan for every possible outcome. But it's really stupid because there's never any suspense. It's Lex Luthor. You just kind of want to get on with it. And then also, they show Clark Kent investigating Batman. He goes to Gotham City at one point in a sequence that was cut out, and you see that, remember that human trafficker that he brands? He's got him chained to like a radiator or whatever. He gets shivved in prison. Yeah. And again,
by Zack Snyder's personal trainer,
but who's also he's set up for it by the KG Beast character. But it's just like a lot of that kind of stuff of like, we got it, we didn't need any more of this, and you don't buy that people believe that Superman or Batman are really behind any of these things, like the way Lex Luthor wants you to think.
No.
Like even the Capitol bombing stuff too.
No, I mean there's never any part where we really get to see the audience really reacting, or the kind of the people in the world of the DC world saying, hey, why did Superman do this? I mean, you get a brief exchange with Clark Kent with the lady whose husband or boyfriend gets assaulted by Batman, and he's a bad guy, you should punch him in the face. And okay, that's great, but you don't really get what the average person thinks of either of these two people, except for that one or two exchange about Batman.
Yeah, or you also too, like you'll see them burning Superman in effigy, but my problem is, why would anybody believe that he did this? Because why would he fly all the way to the Capitol building and stand there and then help save people? They show him saving somebody. They cut that from the movie, and that was a big criticism.
To see him being heroic in that thing, because when you watch it in the theater, that scene is so strange, because he's in there, he's totally confused, he feels really bad, apparently, he's kind of down, but then he leaves. And in this, at least he he saves one person.
Yeah,
It would have been nice if he made a couple of trips.
The EMT is going to like, I got this, Superman.
I do this for a living. You know,
yeah.
You blow up buildings and burn people alive.
Yeah, so it's like none of that really made sense. But let's talk about some of the added Batman stuff. Now, the thing that's got a lot of us talking the most is Zack Snyder has gone where Joel Schumacher only dreamed of, and he has shown Batman naked. You see Bruce Wayne naked in the shower, derriere, no Gone Girl stuff, if you know what I'm talking about. But, you know, it just seemed kind of gratuitous and needless. And, but there's also parts of it you were saying that call back to a different Ben Affleck superhero movie.
Yeah, Batman. Bruce Wayne gets out of bed. He takes some pain medication. He hops in the shower. And
knocks it back with wine too.
Yeah,
by the way.
Knocks it back with wine. Not a good move. And then you were like, wait a minute. I've seen this in Daredevil, where Daredevil takes the. So it was, Ben Affleck going having a little flashback there on his own.
Yeah, and then there's more of Batman being kind of brutal. Like I swear, I didn't see a blood splatter on the wall in the theatrical version, where that awesome shot where, that sequence everyone loves where he's just taking out all the guys who have Martha Kent captive, but he throws the crate at one dude. And this one, I swear to God, there's like blood brain splatter on the wall.
There's definitely a blood splatter on there. They cut to that guy later. There's no splatter on the wall, so I get the impression this was something that was.
Yeah.
It doesn't even seem like it was cut. I wonder if it was just added for this version.
And you think you saw some extra blood and just even like some of the piercing of like the grappling hook seemed a little more.
Yeah,
graphic.
It seemed a little more up close. The scene where Batman's punching the guy on the ground is a lot longer in this version.
Yeah.
There's a little more blood that comes out. There's a couple people who get punched in the face, and there's some little blood splatter. You can tell Batman is having a terrible day.
Yeah, and also you do get to see Alfred chopping wood.
Yeah.
He's chopping firewood at one point, so that's Alfred's role apparently, is to do all the heavy lifting, and which I know it's his job, but still.
The new Wayne condo is super drafty, so I mean Alfred is really doing the Lord's
work. Like that
work
lake house, it looks pricey, but got to get some insulation in there, man. Now, what about overall though? The movie itself, it's much longer. Did it to you? Did Lex Luthor? The things that were driving him or any of his overall kind of machinations make more sense? To me, it really didn't. Illuminated his sort of existential drive for destroying Superman, but I kind of got that already.
What they built on was explaining everything that they inferred to you in the original, the theatrical version.
Yeah.
So you get the impression that Lex clearly knows who Batman is. He clearly knows who Superman is. He probably is the one who kind of spurns Clark Kent to take on Batman, because Clark gets these pictures and he's like, I should look into this. Yeah. And it seems like Lex is clearly pushing all the buttons here, but it's nothing you didn't assume the first time.
Yeah, this one they've taken everything and just directly hit it home.
And more of Lex's henchmen as well.
Yeah, and also nothing really new of the Justice League. You get an extra shot, I think, of Wonder Woman folding her clothes. That was about it. So if you're the only thing with maybe the special features is
couple of extra shots there. There's a close-up of Vic Stone, Cyborg, a very good close-up of his face. There's some new shots of Jason Momoa's Aquaman, doing some tests.
Some stuff from Suicide Squad and the Wonder Woman solo movie.
Yeah, behind the scenes, the Joker stuff.
A lot of that seems like it was probably from that CW special too. At least it looked very familiar to me. But overall, as the guy who had to review both versions of this movie, and I'm a huge lifelong Batman fan, I have to say my opinion of the movie still stands. Again, if you like the movie, BVS Ultimate Edition, you're getting more of what you liked. If you didn't like the movie, you're probably not going to buy it, but it's not going to change your opinion on it either way. So that'll do it for this. Thank you again, Ahmad, for joining us. For all things movies, including all things DC movies, keep it here on IGN.